Hey guys, what's going on? It's your boy Hatfree Speaks, and yeah, we're gonna get in today with Freddie Mercury's interview, a musical prostitute. I do not even know why that is the title of this interview. A part of me thinking it's all tongue-in-cheek, it's a bit of fun, but another part of me is thinking like, come on, yo. It's almost throwing sort of like smoke at a legendary artist as well. It's like, come on, grow up. We've gone past that stage. Just call it one of the greatest interviews Freddie Mercury gave, because I can see right here, Queen are saying themselves, this is probably the most famous Freddie Mercury interview and available for the first time ever uncut. Filmed in Munich as the band were about to release the Works album in 1984. Freddie was interviewed by Rudy Dozel downstairs at the Music Land Studios, baby. The Musical Land. Music Land. Oh, okay, cool. I wonder, yo, tell me who named it Music Land Studios, because I like that title. Because, you know, sometimes your boy be saying we're on this mystical, wonderful path as we explore this musical journey, musical world we live in. So, if you are new and if you haven't already, I would be humbly grateful if you could bang that subscribe button, notification bell, give the video a like, give it a share, because we're going to jump in today with the Freddie Mercury interview, a musical prostitute. And you might be thinking, Hatfree Speaks, what has irked this reaction? Ironically, in the lines of musical prostitute, i.e. getting paid to do something in essence, but I don't see it that way. The folks over on Patreon had a song vote. I say that, but this won by a landslide. Literally won, like just out the water, just smashed it out the water. So I thank them folks over there for doing what they're doing. And if you're interested in joining Patreon, you can join from as little as $1, $1, even £1, €1, from a little as that, folks. So I would be humbly grateful, because we're going through testing times at the moment. Testing times. Your boy's got to keep the lights running. Unfortunately, with the way music reactions are, I'll still continue it. Don't fret, because I'm exploring it. I'm still on the path of growth. All right. So anyway, I'm keeping you from this reaction. We're going to jump in. It's the first time listening, first time watching. I have seen a few tidbits a long time ago. I don't know if it was a music video or somebody threw something at me where he's, yeah, we'll just jump in. Anyway, I know he's smoking in it. I know that much for sure. So anyway, first time listen, first time reaction, baby. 15 minutes, 33 seconds of this bad boy. All right, so let's jump in without further ado.
Gesicht meistens heute.
Okay. How does it feel at the end of a day like that? Do you like your job in an evening like that?
I love my job, but I hate talking to people like you.
Thanks.
No, I mean, I love it right now, because I said earlier on, you're the last person I'm talking to, so you probably get the best interview, darling, don't I?
I mean, the whole thing like this afternoon when you have to talk to so many journalists.
Right.
Well, it's part of my job, so I have to do it. We don't do it that often, so I mean, it's like, this is the first kind of press conference we've had for a long while, 3, 4, 5 years maybe. So I don't mind it. If I had to do this every day, forget it.
Do you sometimes have the feeling that, I mean, obviously people are asking the same questions all the time, that
They always do.
Music is your statement,
They always
and
do.
not the talking?
No. I think it's more than music. We're personalities, so you talk about more than music. I mean, if all you talked about was music, depending on if you're a music paper, then you talk about music. But there's more to us than just writing songs. I mean, we do other things, and we have characters, and depends what you talk about. So I don't mind it. No. And of course people ask the same questions, because some of the questions are current and they want to know about the same things. So ask me about my solo album then, huh?
Yeah, what about your solo album?
Oh, it's great.
Of course it is. Does it sound very different?
Yes, it sounds.
I heard you had it
hopefully it's not finished yet, see, so I don't know how it's going to come out. But at the moment, I've worked on it for about 2 months.
Now, I wasn't going to stop this, but this reminds me of the bit in the movie where he's there mixing his album down, and there was a lot of influence from his partner at the time. Hence why some of the music that was released was a bit, yeah. But there's a few tracks on his album that are really great. Living on My Own, to name but a few. But yeah, let's just go back a bit. It's quite. There's a bit of. I'll give my thoughts at the end.
Yeah, what about your solo album?
Oh, it's great.
Of course it is. Does it sound different?
Yes, it sounds. Hopefully, it's not finished yet. See, so I don't know how it's going to come out. But at the moment, I've worked on it for about 2 or 3 months, and I was supposed to finish it before the Queen tour, but I need a bit more time. And it's sounding good. It's nice to actually play with different people, because I've always played with Queen all the time, and so I had there's a drummer from the session drummer from Munich and a guitarist from Munich.
You were Queen.
So basically all German players.
Why are you separating yourself?
And it's made my song sound different,
To people outside, it sometimes feels funny or special that there are so many solo projects, whereas the band is still going as well on the side. How would you analyze the influence of the solo stuff for the band when you come back together again? Is that an advantage that you're 4 strong writers who also do stuff on your own, or does it?
Yes, I think. In a funny way, I thought, because I think this is one of the few groups that all 4 members write, and I thought that we'd be doing solo albums much before this. But I think, in a funny way, when we do a Queen album, they are like 4 solo projects within themselves anyway, because I have my bunch of songs, Brian has his, and Roger and John, and so it's like 4 little solo projects working side by side, and then we put them all together. So I think that was the reason that we didn't actually go and do solo projects earlier on. If we were writing all the same kind of songs, then we would have gotten fed up and said, "Oh, I want to do my solo album first." But we're all writing different songs, so it keeps us interested. So for about 13 years or whatever, that was interesting enough for us to carry on. And as far as I was concerned, all Queen albums were little solo projects anyway. I was writing my kind of songs that I wanted. But now I think the time has come where I want a whole album of my own, and Roger's done 2 already, so I think most people thought that I would be the first one to have a solo album, and then the band would, Queen would break up and all that. But here you are, after 13 years, 4 old ladies are still rocking away.
What about the actual work in the studio when you 4 come together and everybody wants to bring his side of songs?
Yeah, that happens all the time. Yeah,
it sounds like having also.
It's like a cockfight, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we've all 4 cocks fighting. God, it's getting nice. This. No, but the funny thing is, this sort of happened almost when we met, the 4 of us, and it's just. You won't believe it. People think that, okay, now they're fighting. We fought on virtually the first day, because we used to know each other from university and all that, and we used to fight about musical ideas and this and that, because we're all very strong characters, we all have egos and all that, so we always kept fighting. But I think the fighting seems to keep us together, because I think sometimes bands break up when there's one very strong person and the others get left out, and they think, oh God, this asshole's just too strong and we want to join another band. But the 4 of us are real. Actually, I can't say these 4-letter words. Huh? We're very strong.
I know what I was going to say.
Individually, so we just keep going at each other. And I think the reason we've stayed together for so long is just none of us want to leave, because if you leave, it's like being a coward and you're going out. So we still keep going, and as long as the music is still there, and as long as the people are still buying the music, then it's okay. When they stop buying our records, then I'll say goodbye and do something else, become a strip artist or something.
Yeah. All right. What music you would strip? What music would you use?
All the songs I've written. Come on.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Announcing a tour like that, if you think of the tour life that's ahead of you, is that a pleasant imagination, or do you hate tour life basically?
What, the touring?
Touring and all this.
It depends. This tour I'm looking forward to, because we haven't done it for 2 years. There was a time where we were doing tours so extensively, because I mean we would go into a studio, make an album, and then tour the world, and then we'd go back, and that was the routine. I mean, I didn't have any time to actually break away, and we virtually did that for about 8 or 9 years, and that's why the last couple of years we wanted to break away from that format, because I was getting very bored, and so were the others, and just to get away and do different things and think about certain things. And so this tour I'm looking forward to, because if we haven't toured, and we can do different things. It's going to be it's going to be fresh, you know. And otherwise there were tours I hated, because I mean we used to do American tours that lasted for 3 or 4 months, and towards the end it was just terrible. I just never wanted to go on a stage again, because after a while the songs sounded very, you know, if you're doing it for 3 months, you have to do the same routine, and you know, you need time away so you can get freshness into it. And I think that probably happens to everybody.
What's the fresh element now in the new tour that
It's me, my costume. No, it's just it's new. I mean, the one element that I like on this tour is that we are actually going to go all the way back and do songs from all the old albums as well, because so that I think anybody coming to see Queen this time is going to get a little piece of all the albums. So I mean, there are times where somebody comes to a show and say, oh, they didn't do anything from this album or whatever. Of course we can't do all the songs from 13 albums. We'll be there for 2 days. But I think what we're doing is we're going to take, even if it's one song from one album or 2 from each, we're not going to leave any album out. So I think that to me is fun, because we've been practicing some of the early stuff. I mean, we were practicing Keep Yourself Alive and Liars from the first album. And it made me think, you know, that about 13 years ago we were doing this, and at that time I had long hair and black fingernails and makeup and everything, the kind of thing that Boy George is doing right now. And to think that I'd sort of still be singing those songs, it sort of makes me sound old, doesn't it?
Well,
I don't look too bad for 37, I'll tell you.
37.
Do you have the feeling that a lot of people are imitating, because you mentioned Boy George? Do you have the feeling that you see them come and go while your career is going on? You know, so many new bands.
I don't think Boy George is going to come and go. I think Boy George is going to be here for a long while. They always have. I mean, there's always people that come up like that, and for me, you can always tell somebody who's going to stay, and Boy George is going to stay. What do you think?
Yes, I think so too. If the question is, what will he wear in 10 years?
Oh, that doesn't matter. I mean, you know, that's the least of his problems, I should think, you know.
What does it mean to you? I mean, I talked to Keith Richards recently, and he said the most important thing in his career was when he realized that being on stage and being admired by young kids is not the answer to life. Did you have a similar experience once, when you first of all thought that's it, and then you, from a certain stage, you're thinking of something else?
No, the most important thing to me is to be happy, to be honest, to have fun. And depending on whatever I do, I mean, of course music is important to me, and because that's my life. And as long as, I mean, I can, I'll carry on as long as I write music and people want to buy it. That's important to me, but I mean, that's not the be-all and the end-all. I mean, I just, they're very, to me, happiness is the most important thing. And if I'm happy, then it shows in my work. And so basically, I just want to be happy and make a lot of money and buy a lot of things, especially in Vienna.
Yeah, antique. Yep. Just a moment. Thank you.
Okay, well, the gems. This is absolutely golden. It's a gem. It's a gem of an interview. Very brutally honest, raw, real. If I'm happy, it will show in my work. And as long as people are buying my music and the money's rolling in, baby, I'll carry on producing because the masses want it. Basically, I mean, it makes sense. He's a businessman as well. Absolutely fabulous. I don't know why are we doing into a second part of the interview or something? There was a hand clap again.
The be-all and the end-all. I mean, I just, they're very, to me, happiness is the most important thing. And if I'm happy, then it shows in my work. And so basically, I just want to be happy and make a lot of money and buy a lot of things, especially in Vienna.
Yeah, antique. Yep. Just a moment. You were also recording something with Michael Jackson that was not released yet. I think the song is even called Victory. Is that true?
That's right. Yeah. I've done like 3 tracks with him, and that was about a year ago, even longer than that. And yes, Victory was one of the songs, but he wanted to use the title for the Jackson thing. But the song is still there, and it's probably just waiting until the 2 of us get together and finish it.
You haven't finished it yet?
No, I mean, it's just because he has commitments, I have commitments, and it's very difficult. I mean, he's on tour, I'm going on tour, and you've got to sort of, it's very, very difficult when 2 different, musicians trying to get together. I mean, he has to do his stuff, and it's just that when I was spending some time in LA and we're friends, he said, "Oh, why don't we try something?" So, I mean, one day it'll probably be finished, and the other song is called State of Shock, which I did, and Mick Jagger's on it, but it's all okay because Michael called me up and said, "Look, I want to finish a song, I want it on the Jackson's album," and I said, "I can't come over because I'm in Munich." And he said, "Well, is it okay if Mick does it?" So I said, "Fine, songs are songs. I mean, as long as our friendship carries on, we can write all kinds of songs after that."
With what other people could you think of cooperating like you did with Bowie and Jackson on this unreleased stuff? What are people who are
It depends. I mean, I just I don't sort of think of those things. I mean, sometimes you just meet friends, and if you think about doing a song together, you talk about that. Otherwise, that's not what I think about all the time. I mean, Elton and I have been friends for a long time, but we've actually sort of said to each other, one day we'll probably go in there together and write a song. But it's better being friends, you know what I mean? And the thing about it is it's spontaneity. So, I mean, it's just if it happens that we're talking and suddenly we say, "Oh, let's go in the studio and do it," that's the best thing. And that's what happened with David Bowie. He was just around. We were having dinner for a couple of days, and we were recording in the studio, and he just said, "Oh, maybe I'll come in and just see what happens." So it wasn't planned. If it is planned, then it's boring, because then we were just going in there and fooling around to see what happened. And suddenly this song started taking shape, and we said, "Oh, that's quite nice. Let's work on it a bit." And the result of that was Under Pressure. So I'm not really, I don't get up every morning and say, "Okay, who am I going to work with today?" Those kind of things don't work.
How would you describe yourself as an artist? Would you say that you're a very organized person, very spontaneous person, or how would you say?
No, myself as an artist, I'm just a musical prostitute, my dear. It's basically that.
Organized or not?
Oh, who cares? Disorganized and organized. That's an asshole question to ask anybody. It's just, I don't know, I'm just me, I'm just me. I'm very disorganized at times, I'm organized at times, and I'm just me.
What emotions do you have when you see old stuff, for example, like you mentioned before, with long hair and black fingernails?
Oh, when I see myself?
When you see yourself.
Oh dear, I want to tear them all up. I just think, I actually laugh at myself. But I know that it was something that you had to do. I think someone like Boy George, in about 5 or 10 years' time, is going to look and say, "Oh my God, did I really look like that?" But he knows that it was relevant at the time, and it was right. And I think I don't regret any of the things I did. It's just that I laugh. I mean, what did you look like 10 years ago?
Horrible, yeah.
Do you look at your pictures? And
yes.
Oh, there you are then. Yeah. So I mean, I just think, and it's a process of growing up. It's experience, and I just think at this point in time, I think if I had long hair and fingernails and wearing the things, I would look ridiculous. I mean, I looked ridiculous then, but it worked. But it was all right then. So it's just growing up and gaining experience.
If you look at all members of the band, I know it's a difficult question, but what do you think every single member does contribute to the special chemistry that's Queen in the end? What do
I think what they give? Well, it's hard to sort of pinpoint those things, because I mean, we certainly have an ingredient between the 4 of us, otherwise it wouldn't have worked, especially for this long. And we all have a role to play, but I couldn't tell you what it was. I mean, it's just, the only thing I could tell you is that the reason is because we're diverse. We're 4 different characters coming from, and that's why I think it's worked. Not 2 of us are the same. I mean, so that, you know, we all like totally different things, but we come together. It's a chemistry that works. And I couldn't tell you what it was, because, I mean, who can? It's just something that seems to fit. And that's what good bands are made of, you know. And we're good.
Okay, thank you very much.
That's the line, the end on. That was perfect.
It was aligned in the stars, baby. It was aligned in the stars. Wow. Mixed emotions with that one. Very mixed emotions. Now, I am saying emotions because as much as I'm trying to remain logical, it's the unfolding, you know, it's the circumstances that come afterwards, much later on, that prevails this interview. So, you know, he's full of life, hope, optimism, and definitely has that X factor. Like, he's definitely holding all the cards close to his chest, and he's not dropping it. He's not dropping the ball at all. So, literally, what I mean by that is he's not exposing a lot. He's saying, if I had to strip, it'd be my own music, baby. And of course, you'd buy his music, buy his album, buy his songs. I want to continue doing it. Blah, 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 blah. Now, going back, I did make a few notes. Now, he said, I can't say the 4-letter words here on the interview. I'm going to give it to you guys. C-U-N-T. That's what he was going to say, right? He might be, however he speaks. How would you know that? Because he's literally about to just say it. Because I was like, he's going to say it. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he was going to use that word. It's similar to saying a bunch of arseholes, which he did say, but and also like a bunch of C-U-N-T-S is the other word. Now, the picture in the background of the interview. Now, I don't know if you noticed, there was a white rabbit. Now, guys, let me know, did he decide to sit in that position, or was he told to sit in that position? Because the picture over his left shoulder, I'm pretty sure it's a take on Alice in Wonderland. So that's my 2 cents. Getting lost in the rabbit hole, getting lost in the musical land that be here. You know what I'm saying? So that's quite ironic. The photo behind him, I could be wrong, but let me know. I'm pretty sure it's Alice in Wonderland, looking a bit obscure, but the white rabbit's there, and off we go. We're trekking away, baby. This could be another journey we'll be on. And it was great to hear the name drops. MJ, Elton John, Mick Jagger, David Bowie. These names, musically, are all legends. Forget about what happened in their personal life. I'm on about musically. Musically, this Freddie was mixing with legends. It only goes to show how humble he was. I mean, obviously at that point in those guys' careers, they'd reached the pinnacle. And he's just talking about them. You know what? A song's a song, baby. A song's a song. Friendship. Let's just keep the friendship. I'm happy with that. But he didn't realize the timeline he was on, did he? In time, basically, whenever the opportunity comes, we can record a song. No sweat, baby. Don't worry about it. I can't give you a schedule like, let's meet on, I don't know, the 3rd of August, or actually the 3rd of September, 2022. Okay, let's just make a song then. How does that work? It doesn't. So he goes, sometimes, you know, we're out, they're popping by, swinging over here, over there. We're in the studio. Let's get it done. Boom. Bob's your uncle, Sue's your aunt. We got a song. With MJ, he goes, yeah, put Mick Jagger on it. Our friendship means more. We can do another song another time. No sweat, baby. No sweat. That's what happened with David Bowie. No sweat. So, absolutely amazing. I was taken back. Of course, if you listen to it again, not only is he giving an interview, he's giving valuable life lessons. Happiness. Of course, he wants to buy things. He's an artist. These guys are on the cusp of the outer edges of society at that time. They're living the life of luxury, jetting around the world, making great music, timeless music, yet he still has a grasp of happiness. Okay, now on the flip side, I want to know why at the beginning he kept separating himself away from Queen. He kept saying Queen are doing their music, I'm gonna do mine now, I'm gonna do solo. Queen, dude, you are Queen, you're part of Queen. Just say Brian, Roger, John, they're doing it. Don't just say Queen. Without you already separated yourself and started calling them Queen already in 1984. So I don't know why you had that feeling. I don't know what issues. I'm going to say it. I don't know what the issue was there for you to be saying that. But as far as I'm concerned, you are Queen. You should not be separating yourself like, well, Queen, you're an intelligent, like, he was an intelligent man. He knew what he was saying, what he was doing, right? But for him to be saying in that manner, oh, you know, I'm going to do my solo stuff, and, you know, with Queen, they're doing their bit, and I can't, you know, with Queen, this, that, the other. He's already sort of separated himself and started saying Queen in that sense. Do you know what I mean? Now, you might think free speaks, he doesn't mean it that way, but in his heart is where he's talking from here in this interview, right? From his heart. You know that. He's already said it. So the jury's out. The writing's on the wall, baby. There was already a bit of a issue or something going on there for him to say, because, you know, in a relationship, if you put, I mean, I'm not a psychologist, like, you know, I don't study psychology and all that, but I know in relationships and stuff, you put yourself on the outside and talk in a third person as if you're not involved with it. You're protecting yourself in a way. You're protecting yourself, aren't you? I think that's what he was doing. So to me, he's a very careful man, musically gifted, right? Careful, musically gifted, and an astute business guy. This guy understands business like no other. Name dropping. Elton John, MJ. Big business, baby. You go on a tour with them, mans. You sold out concerts, stadiums. You get me? Oh, MJ. Hey, Freddie. I'm just going to go to LA. Do you want to come over and do that one song we did? Yeah, no problem, baby. Send me that private jet. Okay. Like, his life, if had he been alive, those songs he had done, he'd just be cruising around the world, performing these odd songs here and there, jumping in with his band, who are known as Queen. I say his band, their band, whatever, right? It would have been fantastic. So, that was it. That was the interview. Who knows, in the future, I might rewatch this. I might share it with you guys again. But that was a lot to take in. And the key takeaway is there, guys. Happiness. Long as you're happy, aim to produce, aim to give back, aim to create a positive impact on society at large. If you can, try it. Try to protect your own inner peace, your inner soul, your inner whatever it is from external forces, yeah? And then learn to do it and go forward, all right? So happiness was very important to him. You can tell in this interview. And I love it. I love his arrogance. I know it was acting, but I love that. I love the element of him saying, you know, you're lucky that I'm doing this interview. I don't usually do it. It's all part of the job, but this is the last one. Let's see how it goes. And he dropped it right there. A musical prostitute. I don't know. I'm organized. I'm disorganized. I don't know. I'm just me. What kind of question is that? But again, there was a money motivation there all the way through it, right to the end. Musical prostitute. And that's the title of this interview. A title I would probably change, but we'll see. Because he's a legacy artist now, you know, and we don't want to... I mean, it's funny, but for new people looking at it, it's kind of like, what does that mean? You know, I can't show my children this interview. They ask me, Daddy, what's Mummy, what's that mean? You know, so it's questionable, but it's also very deep, and you got to have this approach when you watch it. You got to have this approach. You heard it here first, folks. You got to have this approach where you got to... I mean, it's hard for me to separate myself emotionally from it because I'm like, love this artist, love what he did, loved his vocal range. Absolutely, like the best performing artist I've seen live. And there's a number of artists, like even Steve Perry as well, up there. But to name but a few. But with Freddie, And this interview, just lost my trail of thought. You got to have this separate from emotion, this logical approach where you're thinking, my gosh, where's this going? What's going to happen? But he's smiling all the way through it. He's happy. It looks like he just got done doing a musical session, and he's down there just chilling with his beer and cigarette, enjoying his life, ready to go hit the club. All right. Liked it when he talked about America as well. Liked it when he talked about his tour life. He did that for 7 to 8, 9 years. Got bored of it. Need to go back, freshen up, come back, freshen, and do it all again. So a step away from the busy lifestyle for him to enjoy. That was a great takeaway as well. So there's actually valuable life lessons in here. And finally, I like the fact he touched on imitate us. Imitate us. Now, he laughed about it, but he goes, you know, the ones that are going to be here to the ones that are going to be he knows the ones that are here to stay. Now, was it Boy George? He says, well, he didn't really comment on him. So obviously there was something people were thinking like, oh, look at Boy George mimicking or trying to copy the rawness or the rough look or some kind of element of Freddie. And the guy brought it up in the interview, and Freddie just laughed it off. And he goes, like, look, he'll stay. He's here to stay. Everybody else, you know, you make the jury's out, you know, basically. You make your own mind up. The writing's on the wall. He wasn't even phased. You know what? I'm going to take a leaf out of his book as well, because he wasn't even phased. As long as he's doing what he's doing and he's happy, he's quite happy to create music for his fans, irrespective of what's going on. The day that stops, like he said, the day they stop buying his music, that's probably when he would like say, okay, well, maybe it's time for me to step away because he's not happy doing it. So, I thank y'all Queen fans for making this guy who he was. Because without the Queen fans, he may have not carried on what he was doing, because he loved his fans. He loved the fact that people were enjoying his music, their music, for him to continue and be happy. And as a result of that, the byproduct is I get to enjoy it because y'all are happy sharing it. So, funny how things come round. So I want to thank y'all. I appreciate that. That was it. That's me over and out. Done with the reaction. Damn it. Over 30 minutes long. But it's all good, baby. We're going to edit this one and put it out into the Queen playlist. Alright, guys. Make sure you are staying safe. And hopefully you guys enjoyed that as much as I did. I don't know. I might have to watch it again. Who knows in the future. Make sure you are staying safe, and I'll catch you on the next one.